वंदे शंभुमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं. Friends, management of fear is a topic necessary for everybody. The topic can be divided into 3 sections. Number 1, the nature of the human being with the essential 4 traits. Number 2, analysis of the fear. Number 3, how to manage it, how to overcome it, how to utilize it. How to manage it, how to overcome it, how to make use of the fear. These are the 3 sections we shall try to analyze today. We all are told about the theory of evolution. We are told that we have come from the animal species. Our immediate predecessor is chimpanzee. From that we have taken the human form, human shape. That means we are now human beings. Earlier we were subhuman species. Human, less than that is subhuman. And in subhuman there are again 3. Number 1, animals and birds. Earlier than that, plants. Earlier than that, stones, etc. Stones and the inert matter. A stone does not have sensitiveness. Iron, steel, rock, stone, these are all inert matter. Later on, this inertia, inert matter develops into, grows into, evolves into a plant kingdom. When you come to plant level, inertia becomes impulse. Plants grow in search of sunrise, sunlight, and the roots grow in search of water. There is movement. Rock does not move on its own. Tree begins to grow. The life in the tree is more visible. It grows towards the sunlight. It grows towards the water resources impulsively. Next, we come to animal kingdom. In the animals, the same impulse becomes instinct. 3 words I have used. In the stone world, it is inertia. Inertia means no sensitivity. It does not move on its own. It does not show its life. 2, plant kingdom. It has the impulses. It grows. It shows life. And it also shows sensitivity. If you touch certain plants, they shrink. It is sensitive. From the plants, we come to animals. Animals show more life, more sensitivity, more intelligence, but that is shown as instinct. inert, inertia, impulse, instinct. From the subhuman animals, we have become human beings. Subhuman, human. In us, we have all the three. For example, the nail, hair. Does it have life or not? Yes, it does have life. Does it have sensitivity? No. It does not know the pain. Like the stone, the nail has no sensitivity. Like the plants, we have the impulses. Example, when we are sleeping, somebody comes, pricks the foot with a pin. We are sleeping, somebody pricks the foot. I shrink the leg. I close the leg. I pull back the leg. Next day, anybody asks, I don't remember. I do not know. It is an impulsive activity like the animal and like the plants. Next, we have in us the instincts. What are those instincts? If food is seen, there is saliva. It is an instinct. If some beautiful object is seen, the eyes turn that side. Instinct. These instincts in the animals are four. Number one, urge to eat, temptation to eat, requirement for eating. This is the first instinct. Ahara, food. The animal wants food, the plant wants food, this mic also wants food, and the food for the mic is electricity. The fan requires the fuel. The fuel for the fan is electricity. Every object requires food, whether it is inert matter like the mic, whether it is the impulsive plant or the instinctive animal. We too need food, ahara. And everything requires rest. Nature requires rest. Stones require rest. Machines, inert matter, they require rest. If the machine is given rest, it works better. Trains require rest. It is an inert matter. It requires rest. Fan. Everything requires rest. Plants also sleep. Jagadish Chandra Bose was able to discover that the plants would take rest. And animals, of course, dogs sleep, rats sleep, cats sleep, they all sleep. We too have the tendency to sleep. Second, instinct. Third, here we do not know about the inert matter, but the plants have desires to be comfortable. Animals have the desires to be comfortable. We too have the desires. This is the third instinct. This is expressed as kama, procreative urge. A rat wants to produce another rat. A cat wants to produce another cat. Man wants to produce another human being. Plant wants to produce another plant with its seed. This is kama. Ahara, nidra, and procreative urge. Three instincts. Fourth instinct, wonderful instinct. Plants have the fear. If you take an axe to cut it, it is afraid of being cut. It is afraid of being killed, but it cannot run away. That desire to run away from the danger is fulfilled in the animal level. That's why it grows. It grows to be an animal where a rat runs away from cat. Rat is afraid. A plant cannot run away. It has a limitation. A rat, because it has movement, though it has the fear of the cat, it is capable of running away to a place of safety. Evolution. Man has also the fear. Should we not take to the place of safety? We should overcome fear. We should manage the fear. We should use the fear, and we should be fearless. All the four instincts must be conquered. Ahara, urge to eat, urge to sleep, urge to procreate, and urge to be afraid. There is an instinctive fear. As long as we are within the limits of these four, we are human beings. When we overcome them, we are superhuman beings. Subhuman, human, superhuman. The animal becomes human. From this level, we should raise higher. For us, there is an instrument in our body, mind, intellect, equipment, that's called intelligence. First inertia, next impulse, next instinct, next intelligence we have. Use the intelligence to overcome fear. Use the brain and become superhuman. When you are superhuman, you are a divine person, fearless person. Then it is yoga. Yoga is to make us fearless. Yoga is to make us transcend instincts. Yoga is to give us intuition. So the whole process of evolution is in 5 or 4 words. Number 1, inertia. Number 2, impulse. Number 3, instinct. Number 4, intelligence. Number 5, intuition. Intuition is superhuman. This is the science of evolution. This is the growth of humanity. Then we become divine or superhuman or yogi. Now I tell you in a story. Very simple. Ram we know, Sita we know, Lakshman we know. Ram, Sita and Lakshman are in the palace of Ayodhya. They are the people living with Dasharatha Maharaj. There is a particular problem. Rama, Sita and Lakshmana have to go to the forest. Very simple story we know. And then from the place of security, Ayodhya palace is a sacred place, secure place, safe place, no fear. Because it's a fort, there are servants, at the stroke of the bell food comes, there are servants to carry out your instructions, there is less scope for any danger. It's a place of certainty. It is a place of security. It is a place of safety. From this place of safety, we are moving. The 3 people, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, are moving towards a forest. Forest, no shelter, no surety of getting food at the appointed time. There is a danger of being killed by animals like tigers, lions. Nature may not be favorable. There may be a cyclone, there may be a tempest, fire may break out, anything may happen any day. In 2 words, safety, insecurity. From the place of safety to a place of unsafe surroundings, you are proceeding. Who is proceeding? Man. Man also includes woman. We have 3 components in our structure. One is body. All of us have the body. Two, in our body there is a mind of feelings. In this body of feelings and actions, there is a brain of discrimination. Body is Lakshmana. Sita and Ram should live together. They must be provided with the hut. They must be given the amenities. That is being done by the body. Body houses the mind. Body shelters the intellect. So Lakshmana is like the body. Sita represents mind. She is fond of A, B, C, deer, forest, etc. It is a place of feelings. She is a woman of desires. When Rama wanted to go to the forest, as per the wish of his father, Sita says, I too want to come. Want, desire. Sita is the representative of human mind. Rama is discrimination, buddhi, vichakshana jnana, thought process. So body, mind and intellect we all have. When Ram, Sita and Lakshman have gone from Ayodhya to forest, we are moving from our eternal abode of Vaikuntha or Kailas or Satyalok to this world of earth. World is full of uncertainties. We do not know when we die. This world is full of calamities. We do not know when the cyclone takes place, earthquake takes place. This world is a place which is not very secure, not safe. It is full of dangers. We have come from the safe place of Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, or whatever it may be, to this world of uncertainties. Rama, Sita and Lakshmana, body, mind, intellect, equipment is moving from safe place to unsafe forest. Then, when we enter this world, when they enter the forest, they have gone to 4 teachers. We are going to 4 teachers. Primary education, secondary education, collegiate education, university education. Ram, Sita and Lakshman have gone to 4 levels of education. And each educational level is represented by a rishi. Rishi is a researcher. Simple meaning of rishi is researcher, teacher. 4 levels, 4 instincts. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana have gone to the first teacher, first researcher, first rishi, first level of education, first primary level of education. Among the instincts, first is ahara, food. The first teacher they met in the forest, we meet in the world, is food problem. They have met with the problem of food, and the first person they have met is Agastya Maharshi. Agastya has done research in the problem of food. How to overcome the urge to eat. Unless you overcome the desire for eating large quantities, you cannot become a yogi. The number of times you should reduce, the quantity you should reduce, and you cannot indiscriminately eat everywhere. You should control your tongue. Otherwise, you become a slave of food, slave of the tongue, and you will get all diseases. Agastya Maharshi, the primary teacher, the first researcher, he told Rama plus Sita plus Lakshmana, the man, my dear man, if you want to become superhuman, control your tongue. If you want to become a yogi, Don't eat indiscriminately. Don't accept food from every place. Try to control your food habits. Food is necessary, but you should have control over it. First lesson, primary education. Next, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana moved to the secondary education, second teacher, second researcher, second rishi, and that is Sutikshana Maharshi. Sutikshana Maharshi has control over sleep. He does not sleep as and when sleep commands. He will say, I have work, sleep, you keep quiet until I complete my work, I don't come to you. We have control over the sleep. That lesson is given by the second teacher, Sutikshana Maharshi, in the Ramayana. Sutikshana is a person who has never slept. He is waiting for Rama to come. Until then, he said, no rest. Tapasya is like that. Until I make my $5,000, I am not going to sleep. My flight is at 2 o'clock. You cannot afford to sleep. I must make a lot of business. Until I fulfill my goal, I won't sleep. It is not impossible to overcome sleep. And that message is given by the second rishi, Sutikshana Maharshi. The word itself gives the meaning, Tikshanam, very powerful, very clear looks, bright looks, open eyes, wakefulness, alertness. Secondary education is given, second instinct. Rama, Sita plus Lakshmana said, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. 100 out of 100 marks from Agastya Maharshi they got. Primary education, 100 marks. Secondary education, again 100 marks. Now third teacher, third researcher, third level of education to overcome the third instinct, and that is the procreative urge, kama, desire. That is given by another rishi in the Valmiki Ramayana, and that person's name is Sharabhanga Maharshi. Shara in Sanskrit means arrow. Bhanga is to break. The arrow of Manmatha, the arrow of God Manmatha, the arrow of the desire created by Manmatha is broken by Lord Shiva. And it is broken by that Sharabhanga Maharshi. In the Ramayana textbook, Sharabhanga Maharshi did tapasya. Indra was very happy. He sent the chariot, aeroplane. Sir, please come to heaven. Rambha, Urvasi are waiting. You enjoy the pleasures. Please come, sir. Then Sharabhanga Maharshi said, I don't want your heaven. I don't want Rambha or Urvasi. What do you want, sir? I don't want any pleasures. I want to see Rama. I am waiting for Rama. Until then, no desire. When you are preparing for the IAS examination, the neighbor's daughter, a beautiful girl, comes to tempt you. Get out. I have to get the IAS. It is postponement of the desire. It is control of the desire. Karyaturanam na sukham na nidra. When you want to achieve something, no rest, no pleasure, no desire other than what you have. So Sharabhanga Maharshi is collegiate education. He says all the students in the colleges lose less marks because of their temptations, desires, attraction of the opposite sex. Primary education you are able to get 100 marks. Secondary education you are able to get 100 marks. But when you come to the college, temptations are more. Attraction of the pleasures is more, attraction of the opposite sex is more, and therefore you lose control over your minds. You become lust-ridden. We are controlled by the desires and we lose less marks. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana said, yes sir, but They did not pass the examination in practicals. Sita Devi looked at the golden deer. She is tempted by the golden deer. If one is tempted, the other two also fall. Body becomes sick. Intellect loses its discrimination. Rama also became sick. Lakshmana also became sick. The desire is powerful. Therefore, the third Rishi, Sharabhanga Maharshi, told the student man, you don't remain a human being. You conquer two instincts, food and sleep. You conquer this instinct also, desire. Yes, sir, he said, but he could not. Last, final thing, university education. It is still very, very, very difficult. You may conquer the food, you may conquer the sleep, you may to some extent conquer the desire, but when you come to fear, last instinct is fear. A rat is afraid of a cat is afraid of a dog is afraid of perhaps a jackal, but a man is afraid of the rat, is afraid of the cat, is afraid of the cockroach, afraid of the jackal, he is afraid of wife, he is afraid of husband, he is afraid of the society, he is afraid of himself. Fear, 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 fear. That is the fourth instinct, most powerful instinct, and this instinct was to be conquered. The fourth teacher, university professor, is that Bharadwaja Maharshi, a great researcher. Bharadwajaha Nirbhayaha. Bharadwaja is a person who has conquered fear. I have conquered it, you also conquer it, man. Fourth lesson is given. Rama, Sita, Lakshmana said, yes, sir. Since they were not able to conquer the earlier desire, they became slaves of fear. Sita was stolen. And when Sita was stolen, she was afraid of her safety. She was afraid of the whereabouts of Rama. She was feeling guilty. Fear, fear, fear of Sita, mind. Rama was afraid of whereabouts of Sita. He was lost in anxiety, worry, tension, gloom, depression. We do not know, no, there is no SMS, there is no mobile phone. Imagine that poor lady away from her husband for 1 full year in a distant place. They do not know each other where they are. If the boy does not come home at the appointed time, how tension-ridden we are from the school. The child is to come. At 4 o'clock he should come. 4:05 it is, we are tension-ridden. Maybe an accident. Sita Devi stayed in the Asokavana for 1 full year. No information. Whether Rama is alive or not, God knows. Whether he has gone back to Ayodhya, nobody knows. Whether he is able to find out the address of Sita Devi, nobody knows. Imagine the tension. Same is the case with Ram. Now, all these problems because they were unable to conquer the desire. One after the other, you may conquer food, urge to eat. You may conquer urge to sleep. But you may not be in a position to conquer desire. Even if there is 1% of temptation, it causes the fear. Fear is due to the expectations likely to be fulfilled, unlikely to be fulfilled. Then fear comes. Rama, Sita and Lakshmana have failed in the examination. They have not got 100 out of 100. They got 100 out of 100 only in 2 papers, food and sleep. In desire, only 99%. In fear, only 50%. Therefore, they are not Yogishwaras. Krishna is Yogishwara. He has conquered the urge to sleep, urge to eat, urge to procreate, and urge also to have the fear. All the 4 are conquered. Therefore, he is superhuman. In the process of evolution, fear plays a prominent role. These are four instincts. Now, having come to the from the subhuman level to this human level, it is our duty to become superhuman. Now, there are a few options. We are human. First option, to remain a human being. Sir, whenever I am hungry, I will eat, sir. Whenever I get sleep, I sleep, sir. Whenever I have a desire, I will have developed the desire, sir. Whenever there is a fear, I suffer, sir. Why do you trouble us, sir? First option. Second option, I will be like an animal, sir. The dog goes to food wherever it is. We don't go. Self-respect. The dog sleeps wherever there is a place. We cannot sleep unless we go back to our bed. Similarly, we don't entertain all dirty desires. Only the most beautiful girl. Not every woman. Not every man. Not every pie. If somebody gives me 5 rupees, I won't accept. If a piece of bone is given, the dog accepts. Now, we have become a little choosy. We don't have all dirty desires. Some desires are eliminated automatically. Similarly, we are not afraid of everything. We are afraid of some. We are able to overcome the fear of some. For example, we are not afraid of the ant. We are not afraid of the lizard, but we are afraid of a snake. And some people are not afraid of the snake. Therefore, fear also is not about everything. Animals, there are people who are afraid of everything. That means the option is to become an animal. Third option, become superhuman, sir. I will go to Yoga Kendra, control my tongue, control my sleep, control my desires, control my fear. Like Krishna, I'll become superhuman yogi, sir. Third option. Fourth option, I will become inhuman, devilish. You go catch everything and eat everything. Devil-like, glutton. When somebody is sleeping, you throw him out and sleep on that bed. Devil-like. When somebody has that girl, you kill the husband and enjoy that woman. Devil-like. And you are constantly afraid of the police, border security force, army, navy, air force, NCC, NS, neighbors. Everybody I am afraid of. Fourth. And who are the representatives? Ravana is a Brahmana, but a Rakshasa, because he wants to enjoy the pleasures of the body going to every woman. He has no relationship. His own brother's daughter-in-law he raped. He's a rowdy. He's a Rakshasa, because he's a slave of lust. Worse than an animal. Worse than a beast. He is a devil. Therefore, in history today, we call Ravana a Rakshasa. His brother Kumbhakarna, he did only 2 things. Eating, everything. Sleeping, everywhere. 6 months he eats, 6 months he sleeps. Eating and sleeping constitute his structure, and therefore he is called a Rakshasa. Next, Kamsa. Kamsa is Krishna's maternal uncle. Devaki is a woman. Her husband Vasudeva is a man. Her brother Kamsa is a Rakshasa. Her son Krishna is a god in the same family. Devaki is a lady, Manas. And this Devaki's husband, an ordinary human being, Vasudeva. Her son, mind's son, when it is controlled, Vasudeva, God. And Devaki's own brother, Kamsa, Rakshasa. In the same family, you have 4 varieties. Similarly, the fourth option is to be a Rakshasa. It is left to us. As human beings, we can become inhuman, like a Rakshasa. We can become subhuman, like an animal. We can remain as a human being, or we can become yogis. It is left to our option. Now we have decided to become yogis. We should find out the path. First section, we have been able to find out the 4 intrinsic, latent, hidden instincts in us. The instincts are 4. Urge to eat, urge to sleep, urge to procreate, and urge to be afraid. We are naturally drawn to fear. We are lost in fear. Let us not worry about the remaining 3. We are worried now of the fear. Fear is common in everybody. I am yet to come across a person who can declare, I have no fear, sir. Rama also has fear. Krishna does not have fear. Vishnu does not have fear. Shiva does not have fear. Only exceptions. Until Rama, everybody has fear. We all have the fear. Now try to analyze fear. Fear is about the future. Now we are sitting in this hall. There is no fear. We will have the fear when I go home. There may be rain. I may get drenched. I may catch cold. It may develop into typhoid. I may be in the bed for 48 days and I may die. Fear of future. And then fear of disappointment. You write a letter to the girl. The girl may say yes or no. It is not in your hands. Fear of animals, because you are attached to your body, life. That life may be in danger. I may die. I may fall sick. I may become less attractive. I may be unwell. I may not have my desires fulfilled. All things, if you analyze, they are in the future. Fear is in the future. Hope also is in the future. Hope is in the future. Fear is in the future. If hope is strong, fear is not present. If fear is present and more strong, hope is less. It is absent. In the mind, 2 compartments. One compartment is full of hope. Another compartment is full of fear. This compartment of hope should drive away the fear. For that, it requires strength. There is darkness, there is light. If the light is very bright, there is no darkness. If the darkness is increasing, light slowly fades away. In the evening, before sunset or after sunset, there is a twilight. It becomes dark, light fades away. In the morning, there is twilight, Sandhya Samayam. As the sun comes, darkness goes away. In the mind, there are 2. Light, that is hope. Darkness, that is your fear. If the light is increased, if the hope is increased, if it is strengthened, then fear goes away. If the fear is increased, light goes away. In cases of hysteria, in cases of asthma, in cases of depression, the fear gets increased, light gets decreased. When the light is decreasing, body becomes sick. body becomes unwell. What is the weapon, sir? Weapon is faith. Weapon is confidence, and that is strength. Use your confidence. Use your faith. What for? To drive away the doubt, to drive away the depression, to drive away the fear. I am unable to use, then suffer. God has given us faith. He has given us confidence also. Use that confidence. Use that faith. And if you want, take the help of reasoning. Reasoning is a quality of the brain. Okay. Analyze the situation. I am not afraid of the present, I am afraid of the future. I am afraid of the death. Right. Does any man live? Everybody has to die. Whether I am afraid or not, I have to die. Therefore, why should I die fearing death? Why should I not die without the fear of death? The student has taken the examination in the month of April. The results will be declared in the month of July. Full 3 months time, May, June, and 15 days here, 15 days there. Total 90 days time you have. As soon as you take the examination, I begin to have the fear, I may die, I may die, I may die, I may die. Whether you fail or not, whether you pass or not, whether you die or not, you can face it then. You can weep on the day of the announcement of the result. Why do you weep from today? Is it not our foolishness? 3 months, why can't you go out, enjoy the picnic, enjoy the excursion? Why don't you go to Ooty, Kodaikanal? Forget about the future. Forget about the result. When the mind thinks of the fruit, when the mind expects the result, when there is a doubt, it is afraid. What is the best way? Postpone. Whether I am afraid or not, result is bound to come. Why should I be afraid? Tomorrow I have to catch the train. My ticket is in the waiting list. Now, 48 hours before, if I don't get the waiting list confirmed, how am I to do? Tomorrow evening when the train comes, if the waiting list is not confirmed, then you can weep. Why should you weep now? Depression, fear, it starts in the old people 2 years or 3 years before retirement. What shall I do when I retire? If my wife does not give me food, if people do not respect me, we have to face it, no doubt about it. Why do you welcome it today? A guest came to me. He was a fine looking Brahmana. I invited him. He came to our house. I gave him good clothes. I asked him to sit. I prepared very delicious food. I served him. I showered hospitality on him. He was seated near the dining table and he was eating. While eating, he was weeping. I felt sorry. Sir, did I commit any mistake? Did I not serve you well? What is wrong with me, sir? Why are you weeping, sir? Then that old man said, my dear boy, you have given me food today. Who will give me food tomorrow? You are unable to enjoy the present food, thinking of your food tomorrow. After 5 years, I may die, may not die. Why should I welcome the death today? We spoil our present. Then, that strength we are not expected to borrow from outside. Confidence somebody will give me, no. Confidence is hidden in us. Strength is hidden in us. Courage is hidden in us. You strengthen it, you improve it, you increase it. There is already the light. Hauser example. Who does not know that everybody will die? Everybody knows. My father died. I have seen his dead body. I know I too will die one day. My grandfather died. I saw him. He was taken to the burial ground, cremation ground. He was buried or cremated. I was a witness. But am I sure that I will die today? No. I make money. I make business. I make my life secure because there is in me the hope that I will live. There is in me the faith that I will live. There is in me the strength of confidence that I will live for another 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You talk to an old man of 85 years. Tata, grandpapa, do you want to marry? Yes, but who will give the girl? No old man says, no, I don't want marriage. Never. You can make a study. In my college, I have taken up various subjects. I have allotted the subjects to my students. They have collected the data. And they have studied more than 500 old people who have crossed the age of 70. Not a single fellow refused to marry. If a girl is willing, if somebody offers, that means he has the hope to live long. He has the strength to marry. That is hidden in us. Another common example. Every day we read in the newspapers, buses are meeting with accidents. Do we refuse to travel? No. We are sure our bus reaches the destination. Trains meet with accidents. We are sure that our train goes safe. Aircrafts are crashing. We enter the aircraft with the belief that we reach Chicago, San Francisco. We are not doubtful. That is the quality of strength. Now, what should we do? We should strengthen that faith. We should strengthen that confidence. We should strengthen that courage. If only we are successful, then we become Yogishwaras. Fear is hidden in us. It has to be dealt with. It has to be controlled with two weapons. One weapon is faith. The other weapon is rationalism. Some people are afraid of darkness. Many people are afraid of darkness. Now we analyze. What is the analysis? What is the difference between this room during the day and during the light or during the night? Daytime, the pillar is seen, the chair is seen, the table is seen. Night time, the chair is there, the post is there. The only thing is we don't see it. I will have the torch of reasoning. And when I press the torch of reasoning, I will know the chair is there, pillar is there, we don't have any problem. That faith can be made clear, may be made bright by using the reasoning capacity. To overcome fear, we have two weapons. One weapon is faith, the other weapon is reasoning. Anyhow, everybody dies. I too die. Why should I weep in advance? Anyhow, everybody retires. I too retire. Why should I weep in advance? Why should I be afraid of it? Why should I be afraid of it? What is inevitable? What is unavoidable? What is sure to take place? I welcome it, accept it, and I begin to face it then and there, not from now on. That is fearlessness, a step. This is analysis, the weapons, and with these two weapons, we manage the fear. We to manage the fear, you know the psychology of the fear. If you don't manage it well, it manages us. It controls us. If you are unable to control the wife, if you are tempted by the wife's desires, if you are very subservient to the wife's desires, over the period, wife becomes the husband, husband becomes the wife. O wife, be thou my husband, O evil, be thou my good. Milton says, O evil, be thou my good. O wife, be thou my husband. If the children are not controlled at the tender age, they will control us. If the teacher allows the students to shout, he will be cowed down by the students. You should not. Animals, nature, we must keep them at bay. Fear is an animal. Fear is a dangerous product. So keep it under control. How to keep it under control? We have two weapons, stick and the torch. Stick is faith. Torch is your reasoning. Use the reasoning, use the stick, keep it under your control. Otherwise, it eats away. There is a small story. Swami Vivekananda narrates this. There is a battalion, and the leader, somebody, major general like person, he was seated in his tent, and the young boys came. Sir, this forest is infested with many, many devils, and we are not afraid of them. We shall go around and see them. Some army officer said. Major general said, be very careful. Don't unnecessarily make a venture. You may be caught by them, by the devils. Then the army officer said, you old people, you are always cautious. You don't have courage. You don't have strength. You always want us to become cowards. No, sir, I am not a coward. I shall go catch the devil and bring it here. The army general said, okay, you try. He went there, caught hold of a devil, brought the devil, and shouted from the entrance, hello, Mr. Army General, Major General, I have brought a devil. I have caught a devil. Then the Major General said, please bring him in. Sir, I have caught him. While bringing him, I am caught by him. He is not allowing me. We are caught by the students. We are caught by the wives. We are caught by the problems. We are caught by the desires. We are caught by the fears. We must continue to be alert. We must tame them, control them, silence them. What are the ways? Analysis I have said. First, the instincts. Next, analysis. Two compartments in the mind. One is full of fear. The other is full of hope. When the hope gets strengthened, fear disappears. When fear is more, hope gets removed. For that, you require two weapons. One weapon is faith in yourself, confidence in yourself, and the second weapon is use your brain. Rationalize it, reason it out. Why should I be a slave? Third, blindly face the devil. Swami Vivekananda, when he was a small boy, he was told the story that there are devils on the mango tree. With his team of friends, Narendranath used to climb up the tree, pluck the fruits, eat them. And one old man said, my dear children, you are climbing up the tree. There are devils. They will break your necks. They will eat you away. Most parents tell the stories of the devils. Then Narendranath used two weapons. Number one, my dear boys, they are all trying to run away because of the story. Narendranath said, are you not young? Are you not bold? Are you not dynamic? If there is a devil, should we run away? Can't we face it? Faith. 2. Reasoning. How many days have we been coming to the tree? Yesterday we came, no devil came. Day before yesterday we came, we collected the fruits and ate, no devil came. How can you think that the devil will come today or tomorrow? When it has not come for so many days, how can you believe the words of that old man? He used the two weapons, faith and reason, to prevent the encroachment of fear into the mind of a man. When I was a boy, about 12 years, my grandmother said, don't go in that direction. There is a tamarind tree. On the tamarind tree, there is a devil. It is a pisachi, a devil, because few days ago a girl committed suicide. Those people who commit suicides become ghosts, especially a beautiful girl, for want of fulfillment of the desire. If she commits the suicide, she immediately becomes the ghost. Don't go there. Then I asked innocently my grandmother, what time will the devil be available? Nights. What time in the night will she be available? By about 12 o'clock. I was a boy of 12 years. I see. If the girl is beautiful before dying, she may be more beautiful after death. I want to see that pisachi, I want to see that ghost, how beautiful she will be. And people also tell the story that the ghosts do not walk on the floor and they don't have feet. I want to see whether the ghost has the feet. Believe it, I woke up at 11:45, did not tell my parents and grandparents, silently went out of the house, bolted the door from outside, walked towards that tamarind tree, searching for her. No devil came. What is it that made me? Curiosity. Curiosity coupled with courage. It is for further analysis. You face the devil. Swami Vivekananda's message is face the devil. The entire educational technology, entire philosophy is to train the children to develop the ability to face the problems. Problem facing capacity, fear facing capacity. We must be in a position to develop that spirit of adventure. What for are the excursions? What for are the trekkings? What for are our journeys? They are all to develop adventurous spirit, pilgrimage. You don't plan your life. You have to face it. And marriage itself is a very big adventure. Who knows what type of woman you get? It's a very big adventure. She may be mentally retarded. She may be a devil. She may be handicapped. She may be a lady of henpecking her husband. Any type of woman. Same is the case with the husband. It's a big adventure. Every moment is an adventure. Face the problems. Face the problems. Alexander came to India. He could have been comfortable in Greece. He went to his master, Aristotle, fell at his feet. Guruji, I am going to India. What for? For the spirit of adventure. I shall see what type of country it is. And then, if possible, I shall enslave it, defeat it, conquer it, and become the boss of it. Then Aristotle says, very good. When you go to India, out of your curiosity, courage, and a spirit of adventure, I encourage you, come on, go there. But when you are coming back, please get me 4 articles from India. Assignment. First assignment, bring a little Ganga Jal. 2, sir, bring a little of Indian soil. 3, sir, I want to go through the great book Bhagavad Gita. It is supposed to be the most precious book. It alleviates all problems. It is a panacea to all the evils of the society. I want to go through that wonderful book Bhagavad Gita. You please bring it. Yes, sir. Next, India is a land of yogis. Yogis are fearless. If you come to Rajendran's Yoga Center and if you entertain fear, you have not acquired the spirit of yoga. Yogi is a person without fear, a person without desire, a person without any attachment to anything. Alexander said, yes, sir, I am going to India. He collected Gangajal. He collected a little dust or sand from India. And third, he collected a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. Let us not go to the historical details, whether he was defeated by Porus or he himself defeated Porus. That's none of my concern. While returning to Greece, in the Himalayan regions, he was searching for a very good yogi. When you go to the brinjal market, you select the best brinjals. When you go to the marriage market, a good buffalo bridegroom you select. Similarly, when you select the yogis, the best yogi. He was going, searching for a yogi in the Himalayan regions, 5% yogi, 10% yogi, 20%, 30%, 50%. One gentleman was very bright. There are 3 levels. One is Varchas, physical perfection. Ojas, moral perfection. Tejas, spiritual perfection. Virtuous because of your conquest over food and sleep. Ojas because your conquest over desire. Tejas because your conquest over fear. When you are fearless, you have tejas. When you have been able to overcome your desire, it is yogis. And then the lowest is your conquest over food and sleep. Almost all the cinema actors and actresses have control over that. They don't eat indiscriminately. They don't sleep inordinately. They have control over them both. Therefore, they have wonderful physical structure, virtuous personality. But they have plenty of desires. And that is possible when you observe brahmacharya, morally perfect, ethically excellent, conquest over the desires. Then we come to the second level, ojas. Third, when you overcome fear totally, then you have tejas, virtuous physical growth, ojas psychic growth, tejas spiritual growth, wherein you have fearlessness. And that is Lord Krishna. That's a different chapter. Now Alexander has seen one man in the Himalayan regions. The man is very bright. He said, my dear sir, I am Alexander. I have my master Aristotle. I request you, I invite you to my country, sir. Please come, sir. Then that yogi said, I see. Where is Greece? In a particular direction, sir. Very good. In your country, does the tamarind tree give the mangoes? No, sir. Tamarind tree gives only tamarind, not mangoes. Then why should I come there? In your country, do the men give birth to children or do the women give birth to children? Oh, no, sir. Only women give birth to children. Then why should I come to your country? India also is like that. In your country, do the people walk on their head or do they walk on their feet? No, sir. In our country, people walk on the feet. Then why should I come to your country? There is nothing new. No curiosity. 2. If you come, I shall give you gold. I see. Yellow metal. Can I get a little water by giving gold to a tribal person who does not know the value of gold? I carry 1 kilo of gold. I am very thirsty. There is a tribal fellow in the hill regions. I give you 1 kilo of gold. Please give me 1 liter of water. No, he won't. He doesn't know the value. Gold cannot buy your requirements everywhere, always. Therefore, I don't want gold, no desire for gold. Third, if you don't come, I shall kill you. I see. Who will kill whom? This hand. If this hand pinches, who pinches whom? While eating, there is a nut or a stone. My teeth bite my tongue. Do I get angry with the teeth and break the teeth? After all, my teeth have bitten my own tongue. And my tongue doesn't get angry with the teeth. My hand does not pick a stone and hit the teeth and break them. Who is to kill whom? You and I are of the same stuff. You have the Atman in you, I have the Atman in me. It is Antaryami, all pervading. Who is to kill whom? Who is to be afraid of whom? There is no question of one getting frightened by the other. Day is bright, night is dark. But the articles are same. Same room, same benches, same posts. If I have the knowledge, I don't feel. Therefore, fear can be overcome with the knowledge of the truth. Alexander is told the highest knowledge by that yogi, and he has refused to go. Yogis are fearless, and fear is baseless. Fear is in the future. The first way is to face it. The second way is to rationalize it. When you rationalize, you don't have fear. Think very well. 3. The third one, utilize it. Use it. Cowardice, timidity, fear is the sure way to overcome all vices. Cowardice is the surest, safest guard against all vices. Shakespeare declares, I am a coward. I am afraid of cancer. If I take alcohol, it may create cancer. Therefore, my cowardice prevents me from taking alcohol. My kidneys may get spoiled. I am careful. Cowardice gives me the precaution. Cowardice makes me careful. Cowardice makes me overcome. I was the principal of a college for a long time. From my college to the city, I have to go by a city bus. Near my college, there is no living place, there will be no cinema posters. Once I have got into the bus, I have got the window seat. The bus has reached the outskirts of the city, and the cinema posters started appearing. You know how the cinema posters will be, how obscene, how ugly, how dirty, how attractive also silently. I was in the window seat. I was looking at one of the beautiful cinema posters where a girl is depicted with less dress or some insufficiently clad. I was looking at with all desire. I was just a boy of, I call myself a boy. At the age of 30 or so, I became the principal. At the age of 32, you know how the instincts will be. I was looking. There was a student in the city bus. Sir, good morning, sir, he said. When I was looking at the girl, this boy says good morning. I felt shy. I felt insulted. What a mistake I committed. Because of my desire to see that girl, my image is lost. Hereafter, I have the fear that my image will be broken. Therefore, that fear of losing my reputation, fear of losing my image, made me cautious, made me take preventive steps. I just look straight, I do not look sideways. Cigarettes. There is a temptation to smoke. I am afraid of cancer. There is a temptation to have bad habits, vices, but I have the fear of so many calamities. So, how to utilize the fear? Fear can be positively utilized to prevent the wrong ways, to choose the right ways. What is a right way? Whichever takes me to the fulfillment of a desire without any danger is the right way. Marriage is a license to lust. If I go to every woman indiscriminately, according to the desire, there is the fear of getting the diseases. Fear of diseases, promotion of the fulfillment of the desire takes me to take the righteous path of marriage. No, cowardice is not always bad. It is sometimes good. Use the cowardice to our advantage to avoid the vices, to overcome the vices, to be established in the righteous path. Fear can be tackled with power. For all these things, we should have the strength, we should have the confidence, we should use our intelligence, we should, with intelligence, discriminate the right from the wrong. Unnecessarily, we should not be scared. The more whatever is inevitable, accept it. Death can be welcomed. Foolishness it is to hold on to the old. It's a very unpleasant lesson I am trying to give you. I am 90 years. I live in an old house. Roof is leaking. Walls are falling. The floor is dirty. It requires repair after repair after repair after repair. How long do you repair the house? Your car, you bought it for 20 years ago. Old car, good car. But puncture after puncture, repair after repair. Every day you are spending 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees. What do? You condemn the car, buy the new car. Old house, repair after repair, demolish it, reconstruct it. There are house builders. You give the house, get the new accommodation. The fellow will give you one apartment and also 20 lakhs of rupees. Why don't you make advantage of the old house collapsing? Similarly, this body. Why should I hold on to this old body which cannot eat well, which cannot sleep well, which cannot enjoy the pleasures of the body? I cannot eat sweet rasgulla by diabetes. I cannot enjoy the pleasures of the body. I am weak. Condemn the body fearlessly. That does not mean we should commit suicide. Let the car collapse on its own. Let the house fall on its own. Let the body perish on its own. Face it boldly. Whatever is unavoidable, with courage, with conviction, you can. Last method. Ramana Maharshi had cancer. Sri Ramakrishna had cancer. Many sages and saints have the physical ailments. Swami Vivekananda had hypertension, blood pressure. His blood pressure is because he wanted 1,000 men who can change the country. He could not get. He died frustrated. Now, how did he die? He welcomed death. I am ready. I have no attachment. I have no attachment to this decaying body, as I don't have attachment to the car which is costing more and more repairs. Waste of money. Condemn it. Similarly, they are able to face and they are able to withdraw the mind. Ramana Maharshi said, "You doctors, I don't require anesthesia. You take the hand, whatever repair you want to do, you do it. Take the car, leave it in the garage. Let him do anything with the carriage, with the car. Let the contractor do anything with the house. Let God do anything with the body. Leave it. Come out of the body, be a spectator to it." It is a little difficult, I don't disagree. But a yogi faces fear, manages fear, uses fear, withdraws from fear. Whichever is easy, let us try to do. The ultimate goal is to be superhuman. Yogishvara. What is the qualification of a Yogishvara? Fearlessness. From the subhuman, we have come to be human. It is foolish if we remain to be human beings. We should become superhuman. We have passed intermediate. We have passed BA. We should pass MA. We should pass the MPhil examination. We should also get the PhD degree. Until then, we don't rest. Our efforts do not stop. The urge to eat, we overcome with self-respect. The urge to sleep, we overcome with fixation of goals. We overcome the desires with the hope that desirelessness gives us peace. And finally, in our path towards perfection, there is the greatest stumbling block of fear, and that fear can be tackled, managed, utilized, used to our advantage, provided we have increased, strengthened two weapons. One is faith or confidence, the other is rationalism and reasoning. The torch of rationalism analysis must be utilized. The stick of strength and confidence must be used. With these two weapons, we can use them, manage them, and rise beyond them. Thank you very much. Let us try to put in our efforts to overcome fear. Thank you very much.